That new inflation data, the Consumer Price Index, shows prices rose 8.2% year over year, higher than analysts expected. ABC News business reporter Alexis Christoforous joins me live now for more on that. Alexis, I heard you kind of, I heard you criticizing this report. You were not happy about these numbers. How significant is this, and what does this do for these fears of a potential recession?
Yeah, before we went on the air, I sort of gave out a sigh. This is a disappointing report. Despite 5 interest rate hikes from the Federal Reserve this year, inflation remains stubbornly, persistently high. Let's review those numbers one more time. So remember, what we're talking about here are prices that consumers pay for goods and services, up 8.2% year over year. On a month-over-month basis, up 0.4%. We are seeing higher prices for just about everything right now, Diane. Gas prices did come down a little bit, but we did see a big jump in natural gas and electricity prices. So across the board, we're paying more for just about everything.
When you go to the store, where are you going to feel this impact most?
Food prices continue to stay persistently high, up nearly 1% month over month. Rent, medical expenses, utilities, touching nearly every part of our lives. For so many Americans, this is a real burden, and the cost of living has really gone up. And while wages have gone up as well, we all know they're not keeping pace with inflation.
Now, the Federal Reserve has been hiking interest rates to try to fight inflation. So what does this report tell you about those efforts?
I think it tells us that the Fed has a lot more work ahead of it, and you can bet that we're going to get another large rate increase at their November meeting, probably another 0.75%, and probably more through the end of this year into next year. The Fed has very few tools as it tries to play catch up with high inflation, so they're going to keep raising these interest rates. And last month, the Fed actually said, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said, we're going to raise interest rates and keep them high until we see real evidence that inflation is coming down. And this report today certainly doesn't show us that.
Now, this report is looking at numbers affected before OPEC announced that they would be cutting oil by $2 million barrels a day, oil production. So how is that going to factor into this going forward?
Good point, and an important one that we cannot lose sight of. This number is really a backward-looking number. It's when gas prices were starting to fall. In the most recent weeks, we've seen gas prices now move up. That decision by OPEC not part of this report that we're seeing today. So we're expecting inflation to actually rise in the month of October from where we are last month because of that OPEC news.
And we're also looking at Social Security benefits, getting new information on that. What's the latest there?
Yeah, so, oftentimes the high inflation is affecting low-income folks the most, and many of them are on Social Security. For some people, that's the only income they have on a monthly basis. There is some good news here for them. They're going to see the largest increase in monthly Social Security payments in decades, up 8.7%. We haven't seen that in many, many years. That's going to average about $141 more a month, and it couldn't come at a better time. Sadly, once people get it into their bank accounts, they're going to be spending it because of the higher prices, but at least it can hopefully bring people a little relief as they try to budget.
We will find those tiny little bright spots where
we're going to continue to do it, Diane.
Appreciate it, Alexis. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.